Hey everybody, it's me again. I'm going to do another video, and the topic that I wanted to talk about today is something that I think it's pretty serious. It's all around the world. It's a plague of the soul, and the man behind me, Mahatma Gandhi, who many of you know is one of my heroes, he has some pretty interesting quotes dealing with the topic I'm going to talk about today, and the topic is fear. Now, Gandhi's two quotes that stick out the most to me about fear is he believed that fear was the greatest enemy of mankind. He said that most people thought it was hate, but in reality it was fear. The second one was, and of course I'm ad-libbing, he said that it's more detrimental for us to be a slave of fear and selfishness than it is to be a slave of another person. And I think those two quotes can really resonate with the population of the planet today. There just seems to be so much fear going around. And here in the United States, it's no more evident than in the presidential elections that are being held right now. Both the Democratic and Republican side are trying to pick the person that will represent them in the presidential election later this year. I don't consider myself a Republican or a Democrat. I think both parties are flawed. But I am supporting Senator Bernie Sanders. I think he has a lot of wonderful ideas to heal the wounds of this country and the world. But from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, a lot of people fear voting for him because the ideas that he's putting forth are new. And I think people just don't want to put their faith in something that they don't know what the outcome is going to be. But his ideas and his plans are to help the people who need it the most. He says that, your taxes may go up, but the family down the street's going to have good health insurance. That when you walk into a fast food restaurant, the person behind the counter is going to make $15 an hour, and your hamburger may go up in price 25 cents. People, especially in this country, they're not worried about their neighbor. They're not worried about the homeless or the ones on the verge of becoming homeless. They're not worried about the young lady who was diagnosed with breast cancer but can't afford to get the treatment because she doesn't have good health insurance. It's the selfishness that Gandhi talked about. That's the slave that we've all become. We've become so selfish and so self-absorbed. But humanity, let alone the country, cannot continue to survive like that. You can't just worry about something when it affects you. If it affects your neighbor, it's going to affect you eventually. So that's what I think the fear of the Democratic Party, that's what they have to get over. As for the Republicans, the individual who's leading in their polls is a man named Donald Trump. And he's using fear for his advantage. From the conservatives, Republicans that I've spoken to and listened to, they're petrified of other people. They're xenophobia, which is a fear of people from other countries, is running rampant through that party. They're afraid of the immigrants in this country. They're afraid of terrorism. They're afraid of, the government taking their guns. They're just afraid of everything. And I really think as a population, we need to first address the fear that we feel inside of us. And then we have to move past it. You know, humanity didn't get as far as we did by living the rule of survival of the fittest. We have to support each other. We have to help each other. We have to love each other. And we can't be afraid. You know, fear will keep you safe. You know, if you're afraid to go outside the house because you might get hit by a car, and you just decide to stay in your house for the rest of your life, yeah, you won't get hit by a car, but you're not going to have much of a life living in, you know, in between four walls. You have to throw some fear out the window, and you have to progress. We have to progress as a nation and as a civilization. So don't be afraid. You know, it's senseless. We have to take risks if we want to make this world a better place. Well, I hope you liked it. Signing off, and talk to you again soon.